Hello everybody, Reggie Time here with another No Limit Hold'em session from the Australian Union on PP Poker. We have got 3 60NL tables and one 40NL table at the moment. That's likely to change as we go through the video. I'm going to be playing for another hour and a quarter, maybe a bit longer. Not too much longer though. Done one of the things that I said I don't like doing, which is starting a session where it needs to have a defined endpoint, but that's because I'm working today. So it was either don't start the session at all because you have a defined endpoint, or play and then have a defined endpoint. And obviously the second option is superior to the first on this occasion. It's alright having like, oh, we don't like to do these things, but sometimes it's just better to do those things. Not c-betting the ace queen versus someone we don't know on that board texture. I think we're just probably giving up, expecting to lose a decent amount, but not really expecting bets to work at a high enough frequency to make it worth bothering with. My play is quite rigid at the moment, but in my opinion, in a good way. Better than it was. I feel at the moment like my game is as good as it's been relative to my opponents in a very long time. I'm confident in my overall strategies. I'm definitely misapplying them in some spots. That's no doubt about that. Obviously, we're not folding to this tiny check raise here with the backdoors and the overcards. Probably just going to fold the turn though. Minis Pink Fairy is pretty loose aggressive, but we're just going to have way better spots than that. So yeah, I've been watching a lot of, well, every single hand so far, well, virtually every single hand of the Polk Negreanu challenge, and I picked up a lot of things from that, you know, frequencies, bet sizings, that type of things that have changed my game quite a lot. And I think I'm definitely misapplying some of the things that I think I'm learning, but I think I'm doing a lot of stuff right as well. I think I'm improving at a pretty fast rate. I feel really confident right now in what I'm doing and what I'm trying to do at the table, and that's a good feeling. I like that turn card. No real reason to raise, and then we just jam the river for whatever. I mean, if he's got the 10 jack, then hallelujah. I think we just need to check back this turn a lot here, actually. Maybe I wanted to bet it big, but it's just not going to be a good card for our range in general. It's not a card we're going to want to bet very often. And I think now we're actually going to go really quite big. I hope he's got some showdown value that he's desperately trying to realise. And he calls. Happy days. So yeah, I'm really very pleased right now with where my game is at. Obviously we're not building the jack 10 suited. And now the job is just grind whilst we're in a good groove, and see just how good it can get. No way we can fold a top pair to this player. I think we're probably going to check call twice and then decide river. I mean, it's a sort of player I used to have him tag blue when I was on my other account, because statistically he looks bad, but I'm not sure how much of that is just like too bad aggressive, and how much of it is maybe he plays a lot of short-handed, so he looks too bad aggressive. That is a river that should slow our opponent down a fair bit. So he was speeding along, and then he got there and checked. I don't hate his line there, I don't think. Why have I opened this under the gun? I don't know is the honest answer, but we have done. We've ended up here, so we have to play the situation. He tank calls. When anyone tank anything's just going to give up here. Don't think we have a particularly credible line there. If we bet check bet, we just wouldn't bet check bet with an ace there on that board. We just got bet. I think opening that hand pre and then spending half the time wondering why I opened it pre, probably a little bit of autopilot there with the 10-8. I'm not saying it's a terrible open under the gun, I mean, how can it be? But it's not something I've been doing lately, and I'm not quite sure why it happened. It's not something I'm doing lately, it's not something I'm doing a lot at all. When I talk about the improvements I've put into my game, or I feel I've put into my game, they're almost all post-flop. My ranges haven't changed very much pre-flop. I'm still a very tight player. The only pre-flop adjustments I've made is mostly to my 3-bet sizings, and that is doing a couple of things that seemed quite unintuitive at first, but now I really like, which is typically 3-betting smaller when out of position and larger in position. This pink fairy is starting to get right on my tits. I'm the type of hand that wants to 4-bet here some of the time. Not sure he wants to be 4-betting when there's someone in the squeeze. But yeah, pink fairy, just 3-bet us 3 times already. He's definitely out of line. There's no denying that. I know he's out of line, not just on this session, but from like all the hands I've played with him. He's a proper aggro little fucker. So yeah, basically, I'll just explain my 3-bet strategy. 4-bet strategy is just going to be like depending on stack depth, how big we make it. The deeper we are, the bigger I'm going to make it. I used to just like always 4-bet pretty small. That was just my default 4-bet strategy. Was just like, well, it's such a strong move anyway. There's never any reason to make it big. But in spots where we're in position and we're a bit deeper than 100 blinds deep, I've started making my 4-bets just a little bit bigger too. A lot of that is stuff that I can't really explain why I'm doing it. I can explain why I'm doing it, but I haven't got a really good explanation for it yet. It's just things I've seen happening in the heads up challenge that I've heard reasonable explanations for. And I think, you know what, I'm going to try doing that kind of thing and see what happens. And it seems to be working well so far. But a lot of the stuff I'm doing is just stuff I've seen mostly Polk doing, not Negreanu to be fair. Stuff I've seen mostly Polk doing, and then I've been like, wonder why he's doing that. And then when it's been discussed and it's been explained why maybe he's doing that, I'm like, yeah, that actually makes quite a bit of sense. So maybe it's something I should try doing at least, even though we're taking some things that he's doing in a heads-up game and applying them to a like microstakes 6 max game. It shouldn't be directly transferable, but at the same time, it should be better than whatever it is I've been doing. It just has to be. It has to be better than what I've been doing because it's coming from something that's based in solvers and they're very good players doing it. So some of it might not be directly applicable and I might be making some mistakes, but they won't be as bad as the mistakes I've been making in my game that, to be frank, hasn't had any work put in on it for a very long time. colour you don't see very often. I guess we've already been at this table once, have we? That very old school colouring there from me. I don't know why I folded the deuces there. That was absolutely not on my to-do list. If we check calls this flop, we're going with the turn over bet with our 2 pairs. That's a diabolical river. All we can do is check back now and hope he's got like a who knows what, but 8-5. Okay then. It was indeed a nice turn for us. Okay. So he's a 20% repip who decides 8-5 offsuit is a raise out of the small blind. Have I just thought, what the fuck have I just done? I was too busy being a fucking smug bastard, and I just decided folding pocket kings pre-flop was entirely appropriate. That's really annoying. That is really quite annoying. Right, we're leaving this table because whilst I'm really enjoying my 6-max game at the minute, I want to be 6-max pretty much all of the time. I don't want to be doing 3 and 4-handed, really. That we are. Here's probably going to be a lot of chopping and changing. Just the nature of no limit hold'em, isn't it? I mean, at the moment, I'm just rigging any table and playing it, sitting any table and playing it. But there's a lot of people out there who, just if they don't have the right conditions for themselves, they just don't play. So there is, yeah, chopping and changing, and for that I do apologise. But it's just the nature of the beast. My top's up here. No, I'm not. I almost joined a 3-1 table. I decided to flat out in the small blind because I was going to say that we don't see a great deal of squeezing in these games. And you don't, 3-betting in these games, back from when I was using stats, the average 3-bet in these games is like something like 5%. And of course, in those spots, it's going to be slightly higher than 5. People's numbers are 5%. It's not a particularly aggressive pool. So I'm more comfortable flatting some hands out the small blind that I know is exploitable, in the hope that most players aren't looking for those types of exploits. Wouldn't be at all surprised to see another raise coming in here from Pink Fairy. Nope, just a call this time. Get called on both boards, and we're going to shut down on both turns. Our pocket fours might still be good, and against a pink tag running multi-street bluffs on like Queen 10-6 when a 9 pops off on the turn isn't going to be something I want to do. Right, we need to fill this gap, don't we? Nothing to fill it with yet though, so we'll have to just wait to be patient. really itchy. I think I've been wearing my headphones too much and starting to get a pretty itchy ear. Hope it's not coming down with an ear infection. That will be pretty annoying. Since it's 3.3x open quite a bit in these games from different players. Not really sure why. Would be check raised here on 3 deuce 5. Check raise is just 2.5x. It's a 3-bet pot. He's a regular. We can't fold. King shouldn't change very much given his flop action. I mean, he's just going to have a set some of the times. Some of the times are going to be good. I think a lot of the hands that check raise this flop and then barrel this turn probably have us fucked. I mean, I suspect we're going to lose a decent amount of time here to sets of deuces, threes and fours, but not betting, even though we have a lot more ace-x than he does now. King 10. What the fuck is that flop all about, sir? And that's a regular for you. I mean, I don't know. Maybe his line's okay. I haven't got a clue. Doesn't feel like that's a board he wants to be check raising too often with a hand like King 10. But I could be wrong. I mean, maybe I panicked a bit there. But the time back, maybe I could have had a shove on that river representing ace-x. But I'm not sure how much ace-x I have that caused the flop check raise, to be honest. That's a problem we have with it. Maybe exactly just aces. I don't think if I've got 3-bet ace-queen, I don't think I'm then calling a check raise. Although maybe because he made it small, maybe sometimes I am if I've got some backdoor flush draws. But I don't have a lot of ace-x there, neither does he. The way the hand went down, I don't think. I mean, it's probably a hand where he's going to be feeling quite sheepish. I think that's a lot of regulars. You see these small bet sizes, and I'm the same. And they're not all sure how to respond to them. I think some know they've got to be aggressive and find some raises against them, but then aren't just that well versed in finding the correct types of hands to raise, and then others just don't know at all. They just haven't given the spot that much thought at all. But yeah, against these small bet sizes, you do need to be finding ways to continue a lot more frequently, of course. Okay, now we're going to be two-tabling in a minute. Well, we're two. Right, Reg, priority right now, find some fucking tables. Because we do not want to be dropping into two-table territory. Fuck it, we're going to put this one in. We're putting this one in to start. I know it's pineapple, but we're doing it anyway. I think the fours are going to be good here a decent chunk of the time. There's no reason to bet. And they were. So, do I want to play this guy heads up? Probably not, because I suck at heads up, and we've got a third table in now. So we'll get rid of this one. We'll keep on searching. I don't know if I keep just like missing tables when they pop up. I think this sort of thing is a problem with me. Like, I refuse to join wait lists. It's because I find it a ball. Oh, fucking hell, another table's gone down to fucking short-handed. Right, okay. Whatever. Right, we're going to pause for a minute because we don't want this. Okay, that didn't take long. So we're back up to a full complement of tables with hopefully... Well, there's going to be some more breakage, isn't there? It's just the way it is. So 360s and a 40 like we did at the start. What are you seeing in your clubs, by the way, at the moment? When, not your clubs, whatever you're playing game. I'm getting the feeling, looking around, because I nosy around at a lot of sites, not just the clubs, other sites too. The one I'm kind of best informed on is Sky, and it feels at the moment like the general cash game situation is being pretty badly affected by COVID this time. I don't think there's like a second COVID boom. We had the COVID boom in the spring, which was really good. I think now it's not so good. It's understandable why. But yeah, I think globally there isn't that much money around in recreational players' pockets, and that is definitely showing. I looked at Sky the other week, and there wasn't many tables going at a time where you'd expect them to be, and it was mostly regs. I think at the minute COVID is hurting at least cash game poker tournaments. Who knows? But cash game poker for sure. I want to check a lot of turns here, I think, with these aces. It's a board that certainly favours the pre-flop caller's range. I'm going to use like a middling size here, I think. Fortunately, I'm not struggling for action in my cash games because I play PP poker through the daytime against like Southern Hemisphere players, and in the evenings and early hours I'm playing on Poker Bros against the mostly US and late night Euro players. So I'm doing just fine. But if I was just in one place right now, like if I was just like grinding Sky or whatever, it'd be pretty slim pickings, I think. And that's a shame, but it's totally understandable. Christmas just around the corner. People don't have a lot of money. Yeah, totally understandable. Hopefully, in the new year, people can get back to work. This vaccine will start kicking in, and hopefully, people just start getting money back in their pockets. Not for poker, just get money back in their pockets, because people need money in their pockets, don't they? It's been a rough old year. Certainly not set mine in the fours here. It's been a pretty rough time economically in England. Some pretty big name stores in big trouble. There's been lots and lots of job losses in the UK. Tens of thousands, not just in retail, in hospitality. It's been a real shitty time for a lot of people. I'm lucky that I work in the care industry, so I haven't lost any of my work. If anything, I could do a lot more if I wanted to. And I'm a poker player who plays against people from all around the world, so I haven't been affected by it, fortunately. But there's a lot of poor fuckers who have been, and if you have been affected, then you genuinely do have a lot of sympathy from me, because it's a shitty old time. Fortunately, where I live, it's quite an industrial town, so where there have been people affected, like small business owners, people who work in hospitality. They're not having a good time of it, but the two biggest employers in my town are BAE, who build nuclear submarines, which I don't particularly like, but there you go, and the NHS. So we haven't been too badly affected where I live, compared to some places that rely a lot on tourism and what have you. But yeah, hopefully, with the vaccines now being literally just around the corner, we can get back to something looking like normal by spring next year. Not that the three's a particularly good barrel card, so we're not going to barrel it. Been very tiny squeeze here. Nothing we can do but call and try and hit. There, that's how to play ACES pretty badly. Didn't notice, did he get there on the river there, or has he just reloaded? He got there on the river. Happy days. It's good to see. Didn't really want him to bet. With him betting into two players, it's going to fold our shitty top pair. If he'd checked, I would have bet myself. But with he leads into two people, I just think he's going to have, and he did. He had the set. He should just bet that river, but never mind, he didn't. Yeah, it just felt like him betting there wasn't good for us. That is one big squeeze. We can safely let the ace-5 go versus that sizing. Doesn't give us too many options. So flop we're going to bet pretty big, I think, this 549. We're not going to be betting it with a particularly high frequency. Ah, fuck it, we'll open the jack 9. We did open the 10-8 suited earlier under the gun. Didn't work out too well for us. And we of course get squeezed, which is probably why we shouldn't be opening that wide under the gun into 5 players who haven't acted yet. I don't know why I bothered changing the card and folding there, because we're not playing our hand. Just a waste of a click, really. Wow, strap on folded to a 3-bet, would you believe it? It's not normally on his to-do list. There's the Donald Trump flop. We got that the worst full house on this river. Don't think we're going to get called by worse, so we're actually just going to check it back. Yeah, kings. Maybe that's one of the hands we could have been called by. Giving up now with the ace king. This guy's gone with his enormous squeeze again, which I'm generally not a fan of. Big bet on the turn here, adding the flush draw. And then we totally brick the river and we block all the types of hand we want him to have, so we're just going to give up. And he had the ace-8, which doesn't feel like a good call to me pre-flop, but what do I know? We've been min 3-bet now by someone. Maybe it's a misclick, maybe it's aces. Who knows? Hope it's aces. We certainly hope it's aces. Oh, love to see that. It was aces. Now we just need to hold. And we do. That is possibly the worst I've ever seen aces play on a video. That was delightful. That was pure delight. We can give this guy the blue tag. That was nice. We enjoyed that one. Been a pretty uneventful session, and then all of a sudden someone just dumps $78 on us with terribly played pocket A, and he gets aces again. Gets aces a lot, this dude. Runs it twice, holds both times. Happy days. Happiest of happy days. Who knows what this fucker's got? I think we're okay to c-bet bottom pair. And then just shut down unimproved. Bracing myself for some check raises here from the fairy. Not this time though. Not this time. I keep forgetting to discard the card here. Just keep forgetting we're playing at one table of pineapple. Could be a check raise or a check call here, depending on sizing. If he goes big, we'll probably just call. If he goes small, we'll maybe think about raising. He's gone 2/3 pot. Don't think we're going to raise versus this sizing. dude is just so aggressive. Fuck it. Yeah. Happy days. There's a lot against a lot of players. I wouldn't make that play against double barrels, because I think when lots of players are double barreling those boards, then they're just going to be pretty high up in their ranges. They're going to have over pairs and things like that. But when he does it, I think we can be a lot more aggressive against him and not be badly punished by it. Oh, I forgot this is fucking pineapple, so therefore his range is going to be a little bit stronger, just because he's going to have more strong hands opening. I don't think I've discarded the card more than 3 times at this pineapple table. I think I've just let the app decide which booking card I'm disposing of. Don't feel like I've been especially focused today during this recording. In my defence, I've not been up very long. It's now 1:30 in the afternoon. I didn't wake up until midday today. Negranu and Pult went into overtime last night, and then it felt too late to start a session, but I just couldn't seem to get to sleep too easily. Pair and a gut shot here. Not going to try and bluff this dude. Not sure what we achieved there by betting. And I think we're probably just going to fold if he leads, unless he leads small. So I'm not calling versus that sizing. So up to the 45-minute mark. So I think we're going to be calling it a day. We'll have a quick check of our session results. I think we're probably going to be booking a winner due to the generous donation from the guy with the aces. We'll play this ace-jack suited first. Okay, we won't play the ace-jack suited first. Oh, plus 117. We like that. We like that. It's not bad. 45 minutes work. So next time we get a lull in proceedings where we don't have a hand that we're playing, we're going to wrap things up. And there we go. I'm going to call that a day. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It's a pretty slow session, apart from the one really interesting hand that we did really well on and won most of our money. So yeah, have a good weekend, everybody. There could be, for those in the Facebook group, another Poker Bros video coming Friday night. I'm not sure yet. I'll need to make it Friday afternoon if I do, because I'll be watching a stream of Friday night, so probably not. More likely one comes on Saturday or Sunday maybe. Who knows? This could be the last one for a few days, but have a great weekend, everybody. Keep your chins up if you're a bit fed up at the minute, and we'll see you whenever we see you with the next video. Take care, and bye-bye for now.